Namaskar, and I am your host today on the Global Governance News in the series of talking to the victims of genocide which happened in Kashmir from 19 late 80s till 90s, because it's not only one day when it has happened, but they have given a date like January 19th, 1990. But killing started way before and it lasted after. So many have suffered over a period of time. And it was not that which has happened overnight, it was happening. And the trust, it's a complete breach of trust by your friends, your extended friends, their friends, your colleagues, your neighbors that you could not even imagine. Like you have, like all your life, you've been with them, your teammates, like that you have been. And when they betray, how the betrayal sounds. I mean, because we, I've been working with the Kashmiri Hindus for almost 2.5 decades, and I've been knowing the stories of individuals, means those who are in United States of America and little bit beyond, because I was in Bharat, India at that very time. But since in New Delhi, we had seen it, how these people had to leave. Means in today's time, changing an apartment, a townhome, a condominium, or your single family home, it is so painful. Like, just, and can we imagine that how and what has gone through at that period of time with this community? And today, when we talk, there is a movie which has been running, the Kashmir Files. The movie was conceived here in United States of America. Because why United States of America? I think Vivek and Pallavi were traveling for their earlier project, and when they came across the Kashmiri Hindus, and then they talked to them, they say, you have a story lined up here. Somebody who has been bold enough to take this kind of challenge, first of all, we salute him. Like, it is, there have been so many producers and directors and the filmmakers, those who have earned billions from this Jannat, they always call Swarg, kahin hai to Kashmir. Like, any movie which was never complete, at least एक song तो कश्मीर में film होता ही था, and we have seen it over, because as in kids we used to see Kashmir through the film industry of India, and they used to say it is much beautiful than the Switzerland. And honest to God, when you hear these one-on-one basis, when you talk to them and you come across what pain and misery that they have gone through, like it means, and I use the word like a betrayal, and means one cannot be like, I don't even call those people being humans. So today I welcome Himanshu Ganjoo. Himanshu was 5 years old at that very time, and they always say, you may say at 5 years at that very time, because when you have a very pleasant memories, things do fade over a period of time. But when you have these kind of implants in your, it can never go away, it can never go away. Himanshu, first of all, I would like to say thank you to you for your precious time. And then you agreed. I still remember when you just said, I remember your hug of the 12th of December, because I was not, means it took me a while. Like, we have talked about it, but seeing it, they always say it's a very powerful media, which is called audiovisual. And I'm going to welcome Kumar Rakesh ji. Thank you so very much for your time. And we have decided both that we will make sure आखिरी कील हम ही ठोकेंगे. Like, हम एक एक स्टोरी सामने लाएंगे. And with this pledge, let's welcome Himanshu and Kumar Rakesh ji. It's all your platform
Thank you.
too. We'll both be sharing. Himanshu, I would like to listen today, as I said that, and I would like people to listen what all has gone through in this period of time.
Sure. First and foremost thing, thank you so much for inviting me here for the on this platform. I'll do my best what I could, and it's very sad and very it's irony that what has happened in Kashmir, what we call Bharat. I love the way you said Bharat, and and it's just sad. It's really sad to hear what has happened. and I don't know, I just don't have words. Being on this platform right now, me being at 5 years old, when we left Kashmir, I cannot imagine. Just cannot imagine to be the same way for my kids, and my if I have to leave this country and leave everything here and start my life in a new era. It will be very very difficult for any kid. What we have gone through, I have a sister who was 2 years elder than me, and we had no idea what was happening. We had I still remember that the day I was playing cricket outside, my father was he said to me, let's go and meet my grandmother in Baramulla. We were in Sopor, and I still remember that vaguely. And what can you expect from a 5-year old? I was playing outside, and my father came outside, and it has been very well showed and heard from Vivek and Pallavi as well. And I told that was my first time. Even I have never ever talked to anybody. What has happened? Even I never talked to my sister about that as well, because it was just graved inside our mind and inside our soul, and we never talked about that. It was for the first time when Pallavi and Vivek reached out to me. That's a totally different story. How they got to catch hold of me, they came and interviewed me, and I still remember the day, the saddest day, I would say the saddest day of my life, when I still can close my eyes and I can see my mom looking at me with that red scarf on, and she's waving at me that I will see you soon. But unfortunately, that was the last day I saw my mom. And my father was he was a he I still remember that he used to dress very nicely, very, what we call it here in US is class act. And he used to um, he was really in a nice suit, and he told me, why don't we just go and meet grandmother, because my grandmother was leaving to Jammu, and my sister wanted to go there. I was not very close to my maternal side, because I was more of like a mama's boy, and I wanted to stay with mom and dad. But my father insisted me to, let's go to Baramla and see her, and just we both will come back, but my sister will stay there with my grandmother. And I cried so bad. I said I won't go there, because I know that she is going to be catch hold of me, and she will tell me to stay there. And that is what happened, and it is destiny. And
So you're talking about your dadi,
I'm talking about my nani, my
nani,
grandmother. Yeah, my
moms.
maternal grandmother. Yes,
Mhm, mhm.
my maternal grandmother. She was leaving to Jammu next day, and as a small kid, I stood in the front of that Bajaj scooter, and we went to my grandmother's place, and we stayed there. My father had a tea or something, and he said that I will leave, but my grandmother, as I knew that she was going to go and do that. These are my memories. Let me put them this way. Even maybe
We want
it's
to hear that only. We
yeah,
want to hear that.
it's just the stories what I think I have in my mind, and I'm telling you guys the very truth, what I feel like, what I still remember. So I went there, and matter of fact was that yes, definitely I was. She said that, why don't you stay here? And I started crying. My father said, don't worry, I'm going to go ahead and come back tomorrow and pick you up, and your mom is going to accompany me as well, and we'll pick you guys up tomorrow, because she's leaving, and because they were planning to come as well early in the morning, so that we can at least help my grandmother to um, take as much as stuff she can in that truck. And next day everything, he left. I cried a little bit, and I started playing with my sister, and we were happy then. But after that, next day they did not come till, I would say, 10, 11. We were waiting, nobody came. And what we did, we thought that maybe they are stuck with some work. So we started loading stuff, whatever we could. Not much. You cannot expect anything from two kids, those are so small, and a grandmother who is old. And unfortunately, her kids were already, they were working, and so they were not there. And uh, and we loaded as much as stuff we could. But then after a certain period of time, my grandmother got little worried about this thing, that what exactly happened, why are they not still here yet. And she being very furious, and she was very bold lady who raised me. I always used to tell her she's a Jhansi ki Rani, and she and I think she's the only, that is why she could do that with me and my sister. And she said that, why don't we do one thing, we'll just, you guys can stay with the neighbors for half an hour, an hour. I will go to Sopor and see what exactly happened. In the meantime, I think one of my father's very good friend of his, he came on the same scooter. I still remember. I think on the same scooter with one more guy. His name was Noora or something. And he came. He was on the back seat, and he came and he said in Kashmiri is. Um, he said to my nani is was Gasha. My father's name was Gasha, and was Gasha here? And she said, no, you should know much better than me, because he would have been there with you, because he used to be at our house on a regular basis. And and that is what happened. And he left on the same scooter. And I told my grandmother, I said, you know what, feel like it was our scooter as well. And that was the,
As a baby, you recognize that
yeah,
immediately. Yeah.
because me being boy, and I I
Yeah.
I I still remember that still that I used to clean my father's scooter. I used to be there as a boy. You always look at your father to what he is doing. And my grandmother thought, you know what, it is time for me to go and check them out. She went outside, and but there was a curfew or something, strike at in Sopor. So no buses were running and all that stuff. And she came back crying, and she said that, you know what, let's go, and we'll take the trucks directly to Sopor, and I want to drop these kids there, because where they belong. So we left. We had another two more neighbors who they put some stuff on the truck as well. And we went, and from Baramulla to Sangrampura, I think, if I'm not wrong. Sangrampura, it was like maybe half an hour or so. We reached there. As soon as we wanted to take left towards Sopor, all the cops came in, and the police they stopped us, and they said that, you, unfortunately, because of the situation right now in Sopor, you guys cannot go there. And my grandmother was crying. She said that, please, if it would be possible for us to go there and just drop these kids. That's what we want. I want these kids to go back to the parents. And but they did not allow us. And my grandmother said, okay, fine, if you're not allowing me, I'll just take them to Jammu. And that is what happened. And we left to Jammu. I was wearing clothes which were like, literally, I did not had any clothes as well. It was just the regular clothes I
Because
was.
you just went for a day, basically. You were
Yeah,
supposed
I
to
was
come
just
back
playing
to.
outside. I was playing outside. And I was not fully dressed as well. I was just in my shorts. And then we left to Jammu. And matter of fact was that Even in Jammu as well, we had no idea where we are planning to go.
Mhm,
We only knew that my maternal aunt, who is my Masi,
mhm.
and her husband, they both lived in Jammu in Subhash Nagar in government quarters because he was a secretariat employee, and and that is what we knew that they live where the masjid is. They live down from there on the left hand side somewhere. We didn't know anything else, and I was
Himanshu, Himanshu, just I'm just trying to intervene your thoughts.
yeah.
This is, I think, this is not a matter of 1990. If you see the history, the chronologically, if you see the all the incidents that's created by that Muslims, they are not said to be Muslims. Even they have something, the humanity in the Islam, they should not do it. As I think, this is not a matter of only 2 months or 1 month, either in 89 or 90. That
Mhm.
was a long, long study, just a conspiracy against the Hindus. I'm not talking the Pandits and all Kashmiri Hindus. This
Sure.
is not a matter of exodus, as Vandana said. This is a matter of total genocide. How just the government, the shameless government that time, either the Congress, either the VP Singh government, or whoever concerned,
Mhm.
why they don't supported us? What do you think? Now you are the matured enough to doing a lot of things for the society, for yourself. You have done
Mhm.
not. How just you think? What is the remedy now? Only just to back to the pavilion, just to back to the place is the only solution, or just to create the new narratives as you think, as we think, as Vivek Ranjan Agnotri think, and the truth. How do
See,
you
what
analyze?
I would say is when you're talking about that, unfortunately, we are talking back in 32 years, in
More than
1990.
this is not about
Yeah,
32
more than
years.
that.
This is more than
Yeah,
40 years.
yeah, and definitely he has very well portrayed in the movie as well that it is just not a first genocide for of Hindus,
Yeah.
and it has been we my what as a youth, I me as an individual, what I feel like, what I want to see in the near future is that each and every religion matters, each and every individual matters. I personally don't believe in any of the religions. I feel like I'm a human being first than a religion, a Hindu. I was born Hindu. I will die Hindu. That is what I feel like. I cannot impose on anybody else. But because of these religions, I feel like we have made it a more chaotic situation for a lot of people altogether. With that said, yes, definitely it has happened. It happened in Kashmir. It happened in Kerala. We nowadays everybody is talking about that. What I as an individual want to say to all the Hindus or any, just not Hindus. I'm just as a human being, just
Yeah.
live and let live. I tell to everybody here in states as well. Everybody ask you a question. Even I'm pretty sure a lot of people have asked you guys a question as well. Which religion do you follow? My answer is always I follow humanity. I follow humanity. There is you pick up any book, whether it is Gita, whether it is Guru Granth Sahib, whether it is Bible, whether it is Quran. Each and every book tells you the same thing. Be a human, be a good human being. Now, with coming back to the point, what you were talking about Hindus, yes, definitely, we as Hindus need to get together and clean this because this cannot happen on every 20-30 years. It cannot happen. What happened in Kashmir? I feel it was sad. It is sad. Unfortunately, it took Vivek Agnihotri to come to the limelight to spend his precious 4 years to interview 700 people. I was following him on a regular basis, and I used to follow him on Facebook, or he used to send all these messages on WhatsApp as well. And it takes a courage to for an individual to spend 4 years. Definitely, he's into Bollywood or what we call a film industry. But end of the day, it took him of his 4 crucial years to get the truth to the people altogether. That is what I feel like. That is sad. That is very, very sad. Kashmiri Pandits are very well educated. You guys know very well. Vandana ji knows very well. She has been working with Kashmiri Pandits for so long. That is why we did not had that, because majority of the people were very well educated.
Yeah,
That is
you're
why
right.
people you see. That is why even it was said in the Jagmohan's book as well, The Frozen Turbulence in Kashmir, where my father and mother's story was written as well. And we never had, did not want, even you, if even here in US, you see how big of the population of Kashmiri Pandits are, and everybody is flourishing so much.
Yes, agree, agreed,
Unfortunately,
agreed, absolutely. Because it
yeah,
is not even here globally. If you see that the
yeah,
contribution, like
very
I always say my economics teacher, she was Mrs. Call, and then Kachrus, all these names when you in a university, deans, hospital, doctors, because our people have always focused on the education and will
very
continue
true.
right after a small break. Just be with us.
Sure.
Welcome back, Himanshu ji and
Thank you.
Kumar Rakesh ji. Himanshu, we were talking about your journey actually. And was your grandmother planning to leave because of the turmoil and the situation, or was she planning to just leave for otherwise, because at that very time?
Oh, no, no, no. Definitely. Nobody wants to leave their well-built house, well-built. Everything was so,
Because it was unrest. That's why
yeah, it
it
was
was
so much
unrest.
unrest. We even frankly speaking, day before that day,
Mhm.
she came to Sopor, and like literally, uh, she begged to my mom and dad, why don't you guys leave? Why don't you guys leave? Why don't you
Mhm.
guys leave? Even there were some of the other neighbors as well. They came to our house. I still remember they were begging my father to leave, but he had so much belief and support from, and maybe the fake support, I would say,
Oh, yeah.
from
Yeah.
from his friends, those who used to call.
अब्दुल काइंड सपोर्ट टू बी ऑनेस्ट लेट्स पुट इट
Yeah,
दिस वे या हम आपके घर
unfortunately,
का ध्यान रखेंगे
हाँ जी,
हम
हाँ जी.
हाँ ये तो बिकॉज
It's
दिस इज या एंड
it's
दैट इज एन
very.
आयरनी बिफोर वी स्टार्टेड आई सेड इससे बड़ा बिट्रेयल इट कैन नॉट हैपन इन द हिस्ट्री टू बी ऑनेस्ट दिस इज अ बिगेस्ट बिट्रेयल कोई अपना आके आपको छुरा घोंपे दैट इज व्हाट इट हैज हैपेंड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम so then Nani did get to go to Sapur or no to know about mom and dad what happened.
No, frankly speaking, even I don't think my mom and dad we got to know. Uh, I don't think even I don't know as well, because it was for me as an individual, being a 5 year old. What do you need if you don't want to go? You are not going to school. You don't have to study now. You're enjoying your life. You know what I'm trying to say. As a 5 year old,
Bacha.
I first time it was that I got to, because I had no schools, no homework to do, and you are just flying kites and all that stuff. You're making more friends. What do you expect? But unfortunately, it was very terrible. We used to be. I used to be in the on the on the terrace for almost 5, 6, 7 hours, because we were just playing, because nobody wanted to go, you guys kids to come downstairs, because it was just a बोलते ना रोने का पूरा everybody was crying, and because of the situation. And what I was mentioning was, when we the truck was going down towards that, and no address as well. I saw my uncle, my Masi's husband. He is very he usually will go to the temple on a regular basis, and I saw him in a white kurta pajama, and I saw him. I said, hey, that is Uncle Ji. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And we stopped, and that's it. And he did not go to the temple, and we just went upstairs. And and rest is history. Rest is history. We got to know. I still remember that I didn't know that happened. I didn't know. Seriously, I didn't know for almost many, I would say many years. They were just, I was being deceived as a kid. And what do you expect from elders to do on that time? You were deceived because you are a small kid. We cannot just tell you that your parents are no more. And Vivek said something like that as well, that yes, that is very true, that I didn't know. And some, even I still remember that my grandmother said that, do you know what, they went to Thailand, because I knew my father was in place, he was working in Thailand as well. And I thought, okay, fine. But my sister was very she knew what was happening, and
I
I got
think the
to know.
girls, they mature faster than
Yeah,
the boys.
yeah.
That is natural. Yeah.
Yes, I
Mhm.
would say that. And I saw the paper cutting in her uh, in her book one time, and it was written there. But still, I was in a big shock in that time.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't feel like that was right, that was true. And we never talked. Literally,
Mhm.
I never ever talked to my sister about this. I never talked to my grandmother. She was very bold lady. She raised us. There was a very good system. Family system was very great in terms of, like, everybody came in and supported us. But as a kid, as now being a parent, I cannot imagine my kids to be without me and my wife. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Never.
it's very difficult. Yes, you have a really great support system, but end of the day, you still feel that vacuum altogether of your mom and dad. And there has been so
Because
many.
there was no closure. See, there
Yeah.
was no closure to the, like, if there is a closure, you know that there is an accident happened, you've seen
Yes.
it and somebody has told you. In your case, it has been like an where there is no end to this tunnel, to be honest. Like, so what you expect from your seniors also, like your adults, like aunt nani and others, to tell you what they would have
Mhm.
told you. Because for a 5 साल के बच्चे के लिए, just imagine, it is. And especially, I mean, somebody dies due to, as a natural death, that is different. It
That is,
happens. That
yes.
is different. Kids become orphan, like parents दोनों के डेथ हो जाती है, पता है कि बीमार हो गए थे, कुछ हुआ है, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, कुछ है. पर आपके केस में तो वो कुछ था ही नहीं. Like, क्या बताते?
वही, उस चीज का मुझे अभी थोड़ा रियलाइज होता है, बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर अ पेरेंट यू गेट टू नो, एंड आई कैन नॉट इमेजिन माई लाइफ विदाउट माई किड्स. आई
Mhm.
कैन, देयर इज नथिंग इम्पोर्टेंट दैन माई किड्स.
Mhm.
मैं तो आई एज एन इंडिविजुअल, लाइक राइट नाउ एज वेल, इफ समवन इज गोइंग टू किल मी और समवन इज गोइंग टू टेल मी टू गो, आई विल पिक माई किड्स एंड गो. एंड आई एम एजुकेटेड, वेल एजुकेटेड. I can create those house, and these are immaterialized things. But what matters the most is your family.
Mhm.
What matters the most is,
But
and
but
that is what
Himanshu
happened.
ji,
Hanji.
just actually most of the whatever I've read and whatever I heard, most of the person nothing just left when you fled from the place of your birthplace, they only taken their certificates, only carried the certificates and others. No any luggage, no any, whatever they left. So we can we can understand the power of the knowledge. Either the land of the Rishi Kashyap. This is the old. How just did they change the narratives? So you, like person who are already victims, should do aggressively whatever just raised by Vivek in his film. This is not a matter of film. This is not a matter of things. This is a matter of the narratives. How they have created, have been creating till now in the other forms of the education form and other form of just advocacy. So you, like person, should be just do whatever you are doing. Okay, whatever organization is doing, and wherever you are, any part of the world. But I think now the time of change the narrative, and that is not a fake narratives.
And
Yes.
actually, it will be safeguarding the future. when you
Yeah.
talk
For
when you
for
talk
everybody, for
because when
everybody.
you just said family is important to you, they always say in the corporate world, Kumar Rakesh, I just want to tell you, because if
Yeah.
there is something, because Himanshu is a banker now, out of Michigan. So if there is something, if he tells his management, they'll be more than happy to accommodate, because family comes first. They understand that. Because if you can give it to them, you can give it to your corporate also. So when it
Definitely.
is like, you could very well imagine, it should not happen to anyone in future, no matter, because the turmoils, this keeps coming. This is
See,
not an end to
Vandana,
it.
my concern is different to age. Just I'm trying to
Yeah.
just awake Himanshu already awakened. Just for the form of the narratives, what they have been created, they had been created, they are still now going to be creative. The left parties and other anti-nationals, whoever the Sitaram Yechuri Prakash, I don't bother, whoever they are. Still they are trying to make the fake narratives. We should aware of that fact narratives. You like person should counter with the real facts, truth, and that should be stopped. That the fake narrative should be stopped. The matter of truth must prevail. So you should counter from there, wherever you are, wherever the Kashmiri are there. My appeal to all the Kashmiri Hindus or who the Indians,
Speak
Bharatiya,
up, speak up, speak up,
must.
speak up.
That is
That
important.
is, yeah.
One
That is
voice
why
is more than millions. One voice raised by the more than millions,
Yes.
billions. If you
Kumar,
speak,
Rakesh ji, and Vandana, I feel like very true, and we have to speak up. And I think this I don't think this is a movie. I felt like it was more of like a true documentary, uh,
Absolutely.
uh, and
not a movie.
showed
You
the
should not say movie.
right thing.
This is real files. Whatever name is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
One is Taskan file. This is Kashmir files. Really, the matter of the research paper,
Yep.
total documentation. Nobody can counter you the fake narratives, the bloody nonsense anti-nationals.
Yeah.
Very true.
Because
Unfortunately,
see, Kumar Rakeshji, because why they are doing it, to be honest, because they have been so used to, and they have lived with this, and they have let it go. The others, because we were quiet, so it is nobody to counter them. So people, the world started accepting their narrative, and now since it is, you have seen it. You are sitting in Bharat right now. What is the demand? People want to have this in their different languages. They want to have this own language, because there are some dialogues in that people speak in the native Kashmiri language, right? So the translation is in English.
yeah.
The transcript, like, the script that which has been mentioned over there, they say kit bol raha se, ye kya bol raha se, ye kya bol raha se, because they don't understand good Kashmiri,
Okay.
and they cannot read English. So
Hmm.
that is a big demand, I think, and this will be a very big thing. It is not only for people of India, it is for people of global, for all the
Yeah.
global citizens to see that what has happened. Because the way we are talking about, like, this is genocide. They made it an exodus. Are, I came to this country on my own will. I'm an immigrant. मैं अपनी इच्छा से आई हूँ. You came here, but those people at that very time, your nani and your, means, like, they were pushed, they were thrown
They were
away.
forced to
It's
go, forced to
yeah,
leave, forced to
yeah,
leave. Even even that's the another thing as well. All the Kashmiri Pandits, like of my age or even elder than me as well, those who left Kashmir, आज की डेट में आप अगर देखेंगे सब अभी आप if someone is from Punjab or someone is from Karnataka, someone is from Kerala, or anybody, whoever is here in United States or any part of the world, अगर वो घर जाते हैं, they say that okay, यहाँ हम घर जा रहे हैं. आप समझ रहे हैं मेरी बात? We can never say that. Even I was asked a question day before yesterday by someone that, so where are you from? Which part of India are you from? So I said, I'm from Kashmir. But can I go back to that Kashmir? No, my parents are not there. It's not about my parents were killed there, but end of the day, still we cannot go. After 32 years, we are still finding the place to call our place. जो बोलते हैं ना वो अपनी अपनी धरती. I consider Bharat as the whole thing for myself as well, but unfortunately I still cannot, me as an individual, for me what has happened to us, me as an individual, मैं अभी इंडिया जाता हूँ, I feel more home like here than going to India, because I have very family members are there, definitely, don't get me wrong, but each and every individual is scattered. from Bangalore to Pune to
Yeah.
Jammu to आप बोलिए आप नाम बताइए कौन सी जगह में आपको हर एक कश्मीरी वहां मिलेगा. आप समझ रहे हैं. अभी my sister, she lives in London. My brother-in-law who lives in Chile, or we are here in States. I feel like I feel much. I think ये मेरा घर है. We are going to be the first generation where I feel like at least my kids would at least say that yeah, man, we are going back home. But in India,
Right.
it's just so sad.
Right.
We cannot go to Kashmir. We just talk about my parents were born
So,
there.
so my question to you,
Yeah,
Himanshu, just have you appealed and would you appeal to the new government of the 7 years, Modi government, just to back to the old homes, just to take the homes?
sure. If there is something where we can all get together, why not? I feel like there are a lot of Kashmiri Pandits, those who would like to go back. Now, if you ask me very honestly, I would say very bluntly that unfortunately I would not be able to, because what is going to be happening in the near future? Yes, I want to go back to Kashmir. Me as an individual, yes, maybe for leisure, I would want to go to Kashmir. But as a career, and you have to look at those things perspective
Yeah,
as well.
that I can
You cannot.
understand. But
वो
the
तो जब
journey,
पैसा
journey
आपकी
Bhumi,
जेब में होता है, then everybody says, अरे वाह क्या बात है यार, वो तो बहुत अच्छा है यार, वो तो अच्छा है. When
no,
you don't have.
but one question, Himanshu, जननी जन भूमि स्वर्गदपि गरेशी, और जो स्वर्ग
Very
की
true.
बात है तो कश्मीर है.
जी आप
I have
बिल्कुल
seen
सही
that
बोल रहे हैं.
when Kashmir was a turbulent state in 1994 and 95. I have seen very closely when I was in Kupara and Milial village. I can't forget the date. Rajesh Malit was the Internal Security Minister. Just from the 100 meters, not more, the two bombs were just bombed from the Pakistan border.
Very true.
How they are living, how they are countering. Whatever good and bad, in every government is good and bad. But I am saying now, I am appeal to all, you should talk to the government, the present government. Whatever they have done, the historical thing, after 75 years, 70
We
years,
have to.
scrapping the 370-35A.
I think अगर आपने विवेक जी का सुना होगा, he said the same words. He said that my मैंने ये मूवी बनाने के लिए I help you guys. Now it is your turn to take it forward.
Right.
And that is why I'm telling you very honestly, that is why I'm here today in front of.
I really appreciate. You have not
Otherwise, I
talked
would
to
have not
anybody. I cannot even thank you, Himanshu.
No.
No, you cannot. Like it is, I know. आपके लिए भी बात करना बहुत आसान नहीं है, मैं समझ सकती हूँ. बिकॉज वी कैन, आप सोचिए जो आपका दर्द है, अगर मैं महसूस कर सकती हूँ तो उस दर्द का तुमको कितना दर्द होगा. यू कैनॉट जस्ट लाइक, आई एम नॉट सेइंग फॉर द सेक ऑफ वर्ड्स, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. आज देखिए हम जो बात कर रहे हैं हिमांशु से, I never wish for any kid that this should happen. To any kid, it should happen.
Very true. Very true.
हम एक यूक्रेन के बच्चे की पिक्चर देख के, मतलब लाइक कि वो अपने माँ बाप से बिछड़ गया, चाहे 4 घंटे के लिए बिछड़ा, पूरी दुनिया में उसका तस्वीर दिखाया, पूरे दुनिया में उसके पास में एक छोटा टॉय है, एक टॉफी है, एक चॉकलेट है, वो बच्चा रो रहा है. आई एम स्टिल सीइंग दैट blue and a jacket, he's wearing purple color jacket, like you know they have shown. तो क्या दर्द, ये दर्द सबके लिए होना चाहिए कुमार राकेश जी. इट शुड नॉट बी सेलेक्टिव दर्द. मुझे उस दर्द का एहसास जो है ना, मुझे उससे ज्यादा दर्द है कि कई लोगों को ये सेलेक्टिव दर्द है. आप सोचिए, अभी इसमें बात करते हैं वो दिस इज अ वन साइड स्टोरी. अरे जब पिटे एक तरफ के लोग हैं तो वही तो बताएंगे. अभी भी जो है पॉलिटिक्स करना, मतलब इतनी शर्म तो आनी चाहिए. लाइक कम से कम इतना दरिंदगी जो हुई है, एंड कोई भी आदमी किसी के साथ भी नहीं हो. आई मीन इट शुड नॉट बी. मैं जब भी हिमांशु, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू, व्हेन आई, बिकॉज आई टोल्ड यू it is a 25 years of experience that I'm talking to all the people here. So when I was watching this, even Vivek conceived, so that is what like I go through. Like, you know, you are seeing that happening because the impact of the audio visual media, what it does, that is what it is. So मैं तो आप लोगों से सबसे कहूंगी, you just go. There must be other Himanshus There must be other Himanshus.
Yeah,
They have to
yeah.
come out, because if tomorrow,
Yeah,
if there
yeah.
is tomorrow Holocaust, there is a museum, Holocaust museum. If there is a museum, we should have each and everyone's story, not the few selected ones.
Very true.
Where
Yeah.
Very
ये बात है, सबको सबका share means I
5
cannot
lakhs
get your mummy
families.
papa back,
You can't
but
combine
at
in the
least,
700.
at least
5 lakhs families.
See, my thing is that if I'm just maybe diverting the topic here, the country we live in right now, मैं अपनी बात कर रहा हूँ और जैसे यूएस में हम रह रहे हैं, you see if you go to New York right now and 9/11 जब हुआ था, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing 9/11 and with Kashmir, but आप जब वो आप पूरी दुनिया को पता था, पूरी दुनिया को पता था, you go to that New York right now and you see the museum, they have kept even a needle as well वहां पे रखी उनने, जो उनको मिला है, they have created a museum. Can India do that? No.
Nice
जो दोनों बिल्डिंग्स गिरी हैं, साउथ टावर
thought.
एंड नॉर्थ टावर, बोथ, आप देखिए क्या प्रोमिनेंट बिल्डिंग प्रॉपर्टी रहेगी वो, दैट वुड बी कॉस्टिंग राउंड अबाउट मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस एंड बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स. आप देखिए वो दोनों जगह, इट कैन हैपन हियर इन स्टेट्स.
Could have built the same towers over there, but they didn't do that on a commercial. देखिए,
that is
Kumar
what I'm
Rakesh
talking
ji,
about.
that is what it is.
That is what I'm talking
Such
about.
a prime land. Such
That
a
is
prime
such a
land.
prime land. I'm just giving an example. I'm not trying
नहीं,
to.
बिल्कुल सही. और एक एक बंदे के नाम का प्लेट लगा है वहां, एक एक बंदे का.
उसमें आप ये नहीं सोचे कि वो इंडियन था, रशियन था,
no,
अमेरिकन
human
था.
था, इंसान
Every
था.
person has their name engraved there, and it is going to remain there for years and years and years. But आप यही सोचिए, अभी आप 2001 में वो हुआ, every single year, all the people go there and talk about those things.
Yeah.
They say that. Now we as an Indians, how do I feel proud about that India? Who Vivek Agnihotri ji had to make a documentary out of that so that people can understand. People can understand. Unfortunate, that is very unfortunate of India altogether. We as an Indians cannot live together. हम यूएस में भी अभी बोलते, अच्छा तू नॉर्थ इंडिया से, तू साउथ इंडिया से है, तू इधर से है, तू उधर से. We are not together. That is the prior thing we have to manage.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
यही चीज मैंने शिकागो में जब प्री स्क्रीनिंग खत्म हुई थी, people were screaming about certain things. It was depressing and all that stuff. But no, it is not depressing. This is reality. You have to face it. अगर हमारे साथ वो that happened in 1990, it can happen in Kerala. It can happen in the near future where Maharashtra में भी हो सकता है. Because we are just ठीक है यार, कुछ नहीं होता, हो गया. But
have
no,
always appealed to the people. I have always appealed to the people to avoid India files coming. You have to make sure that you go and see the Kashmir files, because it is very, very important for us to know and relate to that, so that nobody else dare to do this with our future generations.
Like in one point is very important, Himanshu raised. In America, why not all the Indians? Why the Kashmiri? Why Telugu? Why Tamil? Why Bihari? Why UP? Why? What for? You should be the United. You call the Indian. Why there's so many organizations? What for?
Very true.
For the self-portrait.
That is what my question is. That is what my question. I'm raising.
I think what is happening, Kumar Rakesh ji, I'm going to tell you, because with my experience holding the microphone, going and seeing, the future generation will not be like that. This is the first generation who's been doing it. They are still like, that blending in. Like, if I tell you within Chicagoland itself, if you make a rough guess, how many Telugu associations? How many? And so that is where we are, because ultimately, Himanshu will agree with me, in this country and anywhere in the globe, it's a number game in today's time. How many are you in number?
That's important.
That is very important. So when you talk about it, because it's all the vote bank, what we left in India, we are seeing that here too. We are seeing it here very well.
Yeah.
So that is a time, and Himanshu will agree, the younger people are not getting into these associations. No. They are not because they are not happy with this. And they say, parents, like, you take us means to their home and we are going for dinner, and in the car you come and talk about them. Why? So I have a very positive news to share. I think the future will be for our generation, Indian Americans. It will be bright, because you cannot hold it for first generation, second generation is okay, but the third generation, no, they will blend in. You cannot hold them. Like, yeah, take pride in who you are, but at least come from, like, I am an Indian American. Like, you always say that. Yeah.
That is why I said that we are all one. वो एक गाना था, आपको याद है वो जो आप
Always one Bharat.
जिसमें बोलते थे कि वो जिसमें अमिताभ बच्चन, हेमा मालिनी सब आते थे. Each and every state is telling you the story about, जैसे कश्मीर का था, चुइन तरस तुम यूं तरस इक्वट बनिए सोइन तरस. Then it goes on to one state to another. That is what we want. That is what we want. We want all to be together. Rather than अगर यही चलता रहा ना, because of this, it is going to be, India is going to be in हमारी जो states है ना, वही एक country बन जाएगी. And in the near future, that is what is going to be happening. Where
don't worry, that is not going to happen now. New narratives came. The fake narrative is going to wash out now. That's why everyone have to speak up, have everyone to come in front and say the truth, just to counter the fake narratives.
Very true.
That is important. That is important.
Very true. Very true.
So nice.
Thank you so very much for your time. I really appreciate.
So, Himanshu,
and as I mentioned, I would appeal and I would request and urge that the people like you, those whom you know, tell them to come out and speak. 5 minutes, much more than enough. 7 minutes, much more than enough. But people have to see. Himanshu, what your story can do by you narrating it, I will never be able to do. मैंने आपको क्या बोला था, मैं सवाल नहीं पूछूंगी, मैं तुमको सुनूंगी आज. मैंने पहले बोला था.
You did a very good job about that. Thank you so much.
So I appreciate your time. And to our viewers who's watching, we are trying to bring, like, each and every individual. And if you feel you can contact us, we will try to bring your story also, because there is a limitation of 2.5 hours in the film, but every story has to be told about. And that is a pledge that we have taken under Global Governance News and Samagra Bharat. Dhanyavad. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Jai Bharat.
Wonderful. Namaskar. Jai Bharat.